All right. So, hi everyone. Whether you're doing this at home or virtually, this is our Vinyasa yoga style class. So this works for all levels, whether you're beginner, intermediate. If you have props, that's great. You can use a strap or anything like it, even a towel. And as for blocks, you can use them if you'd like them, but they're totally not mandatory for this class. If anything ever feels like too much, you can always come into a child's pose, but we'll be all good. Lots of modifications. All right, we're going to get started tonight in Sukhasana, or our easy seat pose. So coming into this easy seat pose, hands can rest down on the knees and just close your eyes here. Take a few breaths. This easy seat pose doesn't serve your knees. You can always come into a position sitting on your lower legs or having the legs out long, really whatever is most comfortable for you. Just to find a nice relaxing position here. And check in, are we starting to lean forward or lean back? Try to make sure our shoulders are aligned directly over our hips. That does involve a little bit of core engagement here, just to make sure our spine is sitting up nice and straight. Keeping the eyes closed, we're just going to start with a few gentle head and neck circles. So let's start by taking that chin into our chest, feeling a nice stretch through the back of our neck. Few breaths. Then we'll roll it over right ear, right shoulder. Feel a stretch through the left side of the neck. And as you exhale, you can roll it all the way across the other way. Think left ear, left shoulder. And we're just going to add on to these circles a little bit here. Maybe start dipping your head back behind you if that feels okay. And slowly just making full circles here. You can go at your own pace here if you feel you want to pick it up a little bit. Remember, it's your practice, your choice. A few more rotations. And again, while we're doing this, check in with the spine. A lot of times we start to round through our spine when we're doing these. Check in, make sure it's nice and straight. Keeping those shoulders over the hips. We're here for another 3, 2, and 1. Slowly bring your head back up to neutral. On your next inhale, you can begin to flutter your eyes open as you reach those arms up and overhead. Gaze comes up towards the thumbs. One big inhale, grow a little bit taller. Exhale, right hand comes back behind, left hand to the right knee. Inhale, lift the chest. Exhale, little twist, look over that right shoulder. Few breaths here. With each inhale, think of growing taller through your crown. Exhale, twisting a little bit deeper. And on your next exhale, slowly unraveling. We'll sweep those arms back up overhead. One inhale here. And exhale, take it to the other side. Right hand to the left knee, left hand back behind. Inhale to lift, exhale to twist. Same thing, be here, breathe here, a few breaths. One last inhale. Stay for the exhale. And inhale, slowly bring it back in. Again, we'll take those arms up overhead, grow a little bit taller. Exhale, let's fold straight out in front of us. Fingertips come to the mat, pressing into our palms and making sure our sit bones are staying rooted down to the ground here. So we want a nice fold, and it's okay if our hands don't touch the ground. If we have blocks here and our hands aren't touching the ground, we can totally utilize those blocks. Next, inhale, slight lift of the chest. We're gonna walk those hands off to the right. Left hand stacks on top of the right. Remember, it doesn't matter how far over we get here, just as long as we're feeling a stretch through our side body. If we want to add on a little bit here, think of popping that left shoulder up towards the ceiling. Maybe we gaze up towards it. A few breaths. Next, inhale, slowly bring it back to center. And exhale, take it the opposite way over to the left. Right hand stacks on top of left. And if we went the other way at first, it's okay. We have two sides. We took this expression on the other side, turn that right shoulder head up towards the ceiling, add in just a little bit, gazing up. Two. And one. Slowly bring it back to center. We're going to add a little bit of movement into this fold. So as we inhale, we draw those fingertips in, sweep them up overhead. Exhale, we fold. We're going to move through this a few times so we can get deeper into this fold. Inhale, we draw it in. Fingertips up. Exhale, we fold, shooting for a little bit deeper each time. You can move at your own pace here. Your practice, your choice on the speed. Each exhale, try to get a little bit lower. Maybe hang out in that fold a little bit longer if it feels good. I'm going to take 3 more passes through. One last pass. When we come into that folded position, we'll stay there for a few breaths. Maybe we're reaching a little bit further out than that first time we folded. Here for another 3, 2, 1. You can slowly walk those hands back up. We're going to reach those hands up overhead. We're going to open and close our hands as fast as we can, making sure we're getting the thumbs into. I like to call these BAM hands. You always feel a little weird doing them, but they're a good prep for our planks later. It's a good strength builder in our wrists, forearms. 3. If your wrists are burning, you're doing it right. 2, 1. Bring them down, shake it out. Let's stretch those wrists out a little bit before we get into our tabletop. So we're going to take the back of our palm, one hand at a time. So right hand first, down to the mat, palm faces up. And it's okay if that entire palm is not flat on the ground or nowhere near or back of the palm. And just rock side to side, feel a stretch through the back of the wrist. With down dog and planks, we do spend a lot of time on our wrists. We want to make sure they're ready to bear weight before we head there. All right, now we're just going to turn it and face it the other way. Again, if your whole palm does not touch the ground, it's okay. My whole palm doesn't. Totally fine. Still getting a stretch through the back of the wrist here. Fingertips pointing in towards your seat. 3, 2, 1. Good. Shake that wrist out, roll it if it needs it. We're going to take it the other way. So back of the palm down, palm faces up. And same thing, if it feels good to roll it side to side, you can take that or just stay there. few more breaths. 2, 1. Again, we're going to go the opposite way. Whole palm does not need to touch down, just enough that we feel a stretch through that inner forearm. And if you can get it to touch down, that's great, but not mandatory. For me, it feels good to go side to side. If it feels good, take that expression. 2, 1. So we're gonna make our way into tabletop. We have 2 different ways we can get there. So first one, if we just wanna get there gently, knees come off to the side, walk the hands around, or if we wanna try a little bit of rocking to activate the core. We're in our cross-legged position, hands out straight in front of us, rock back slightly, keeping the knees crossed, hands plant down, and then just uncross them. Good. As soon as we get there, check our alignment. Shoulders over the wrists, knees underneath the hips. Take a look back between your knees. Your shin should be right behind them. Shouldn't be able to see those feet. And let's head into our cat and cow, starting at the tailbone. Inhale, lift the tailbone. Drop the belly button. Lift collarbones, chest and chin. Exhale, starting at the tailbone. Tuck it in. Round through the spine. Crown of the head drops to the mat. And keep going. Inhale, we lift. Exhale, we knit. Moving through a couple more again, following your own breath here. If it feels good to stay in one position a little bit longer, feel free to do so. Let's take 3 more. Coming into our last one. After this last one, we'll pause in a nice neutral tabletop. Shoulders stacked over those wrists still. In this neutral tabletop, our core is still engaged. We're still working to keep that flat back. Let's add on from here. Extend that right arm straight out in front of you, thumb points up. Nice. And slowly glide that left foot back. Toes can stay down in contact with the mat, or they can lift up. If we're lifting that left foot up, take a look back. Make sure we don't have it up towards the ceiling and it's nice and in line with our hip. Think of being one straight line from fingertips to heels and trying not to rock off on that right hip. Here for 3, 2, 1. Slowly lower, hands and knees back down to the mat. Let's take a cat and cow to wash it off. And let's take it to the other side. Find that neutral tabletop. Extend that left arm out, thumb up. Right foot back. Toes can stay down or up. Just think of that nice straight line, fingertips to toes. Be here, breathe here. Three, 2, 1. Slowly lower it down. Take a cat and cow. Before we add on, let's take a child's pose here. So bring those toes together, knees wide on the mat, hips back towards the heels, and arms out long in front of you. The goal is to get the chest towards the mat. By all means, does not need to touch. If we have those blocks, bolster or a pillow, you can rest your head down on it if that feels good. We've got about 3 more breaths here. Anything ever feels too much for you at any point in this class, you can always return back to this child's pose. Two, 1. We're going to grip into those fingertips, rock forward into our tabletop. But let's add on with a core stretch here. So keep those knees wide, toes together. And we're going to drop our hips down to the mat. Think of pressing the pelvis down, lifting chest and chin. So we've got a little awkward up dog here. And let's move through those. Exhale, child's pose. Inhale, Awkward up dog. Press the pelvis down, feel a stretch through the core. Keep moving at your own pace. And if staying in the child's pose is what feels best for you here, you can stay there. 3, 2, last one. Let's come back into that tabletop, shoulders over the wrists, knees underneath the hips. Set up that nice sturdy tabletop, right arm out in front, and glide that left foot back. Got lots of levels here. We can always keep those toes down if we need it. Elevate that foot up if we want even a little bit more core work here. Inhale, elbow to knee underneath the belly button. Exhale, extend it out long. Again, perfectly fine to just stay or add on with the core work. Either way, we're here for 4, 3, 2, 1. Back to our tabletop and cat and cow. Let's head into our second side. So left arm extends out, right foot back. Remember your levels, toes down, toes up, or we crunch. If we're crunching, inhale to tap. Exhale to extend. Keep moving if we're moving. Keep holding if we're holding for 4, 3, 2, beautiful. Last one. Extend and tabletop. Nice. Let's take one more child's pose here to start opening up those hips. Let's try to get really deep. Maybe take your knees a little bit wider than you did that first time. Really focus on sinking those hips back. Another 3, 2, 1. Come back up into that tabletop. We just did a lot of core work. Let's get into the shoulders. So we're gonna press into that left hand, right fingertips come up towards the ceiling. Inhale to gaze up, open up through the chest, kind of squeezing those shoulder blades together. Exhale, thread the needle. So we're gonna thread right arm underneath left, right shoulder, right cheek, come to the mat. The further we can get that right hand away from the body, the deeper stretch we get through the shoulder blades. And if we want to add on here, maybe that left arm reaches back for the right hip. Totally optional. Few more breaths. I've been holding my breath. I've been counting to 10 over something. 2, 1. Left hand comes down. We'll sweep that right arm out and up. Exhale, bring it back. Straight out in front of us. Thumb points up, just like we started with that spinal balance. Right pinky comes to the top left corner of the mat. So it's pivoting across the mat, and our forearm lowers down. Maybe we lower down onto both forearms. Again, whatever feels good. And if our forehead reaches, feel free to rest it down here. If our knees are feeling a little tender, you can always send them into that wide-legged child's pose position. 3, 2, 1. Slowly glide it back up to tabletop. Let's take it to our other side. This time we press into the right hand. Left fingertips rise up. Inhale to open. Exhale to thread. Left shoulder, left cheek come down. You took the bind on the other side, right hand would go back towards the left hip. A few more breaths. Nice.
Find someone that loves you better than I do, darling. I know that you remind me every day I'm not enough, but I still stay.
Another 3,
If you want me to leave,
2,
just tell me to leave, and baby,
1. Press into that right hand. Again, we lift up, left fingertips come up towards the ceiling. Sweep them forward, thumb points up, left pinky, the top right corner of the mat, lower down. Forehead can rest if comfortable. And slowly start rising back up, back to our tabletop. Test it out, see if these wrists are ready to bear weight. Spread out those fingertips on your mat here. Make sure we can see the mat in between our palms, gripping into that first knuckle, 1 foot at a time. Let's step it back, find a high plank. Shoulders stack over the wrists. Be here, breathe here. 3, 2, 1. Push the hips up and back, find your downward facing dog. We should be able to move from down dog to plank without moving hands or feet, so let's test it out. Inhale, shift forward. Exhale, back to down dog. Move through a few on your own. Inhale to shift. Exhale, down dog. If you have a chaturanga in your practice, feel free to add it in here. Another 3, 2, and 1. We'll all find that downward facing dog just for 1 inhale. Exhale. And inhale, slowly walk those feet up towards the top of the mat. Find your forward fold. Halfway lift when you're there, palms to shins. Exhale, fold. Again, inhale halfway. Exhale, fold. We can hang out in this fold for a few breaths. Maybe grabbing opposite elbows, swaying side to side. We want to focus on our low back a little bit more in this stretch. Just bend the knees a little bit here. 3, 2, 1. Slowly tuck the chin into the chest and rise up. Find your mountain pose or Tadasana. Inhale, sweep those arms up overhead. Exhale, hands come into your chest. Close your eyes here. Check in to see if we're rooted down evenly through both feet. A nice way to check is to pick up the toes, spread them out, plant them back down. I'm going to do a little bit of balance testing here. So with these eyes closed, rock weight to the toes, don't lift the heels. Rock weight to the heels, don't lift the toes. Rock right, don't lift left. Left, don't lift right. Slowly back to center. We got our tough one here. Keeping those eyes closed, root down through that right foot. We're gonna slowly start lifting the left. Maybe we just lift the heel. Maybe it stays as a kickstand on that right ankle. Or maybe we can slowly bring that left knee up towards our chest. 2, 1. Slowly plant it back down. When we take away one of our senses, balance gets a lot tougher. All right, now let's press into our left. Eyes are still closed and slowly lifting the right. Remember, one side's always better than the other. Apparently, this is my good side today. 2, 1. Plant that right foot down. Root down evenly through those feet. And we're gonna warm up a little bit with some half sun A's. And start to flutter those eyes open as you sweep those arms up and overhead. Inhale. Exhale, forward fold, fingertips to toes. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise all the way up, mountain pose. That's our half sun A. If you feel more comfortable with this than going through our planks, you'll continue with the half sun A. Let's do one more half together. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, fold. Halfway lift on the inhale. Exhale again, take it to a fold. Inhale, rise up, arms up. Exhale, hands to chest. Doing a half sun A is enough for you. You can stick with that and move through a few. We're going through our full sun A's and adding in our down dogs and chaturangas. You'll follow along with me. Inhale, sweep the arms up overhead. Exhale, fold to the toes. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, fold, plant the hands, hop or step back to your high plank. Drop the knees if you need to. We're gonna slowly lower to our chaturanga, elbows tucked back behind you. Inhale, lift the chest and chin, up dog or cobra. Exhale, curl underneath the toes, lift the hips up, down dog. Let's go through another. Next inhale, look up towards your palms, tiny steps or a hop to your fold. Take your time. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, we fold. Inhale to rise. Arms up. Exhale, hands to chest. If we're doing half sun A's, stick with it. Inhale, rise up, arms up. Exhale, again, we fold all the way down. Halfway lift. Exhale, fold, plant the hands, hop or step, find your high plank. Exhale through your chaturanga. Inhale, up dog or cobra, shoulders over the wrists. Exhale, down dog. We're all gonna meet up together in Tadasana, top of the mat. Next inhale, look forward, tiny steps to the top. Halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise up, arms up. Exhale, hands come to our chest. Nice. Keeping our hands to our chest, let's root down into that right foot. Left foot is gonna step to the back of the mat. We're up on the ball of the back foot, so our heel is lifted, back leg is nice and straight. Take our hands to our hips, make sure they're even with the front of the mat. Front knee over the ankle. Inhale, sweep those arms up. Finding our crescent lunge here. Just a few breaths. Feel the work in that front leg. Maybe your quad is starting to feel it. Let's take it into our twist. Left hand to the front of the mat, right hand back behind. We want to test our balance. Gaze at that right thumb. 3, 2, 1. We have a fun transition here. We're going to bring our arms back up overhead. Spin that back foot so the heel drops down to the back of the mat. Left toes point towards the long end. Right foot stays where it is. Perfect. Keep that bend in the front knee. Arms to a T. Just like that, warrior two. Inhale, flip that front palm. Palm faces towards the ceiling as we sweep it up. Overhead, left arm comes down the left leg. Gaze up, reverse warrior. Exhale, right forearm, right thigh. Left arm over left ear, side angle. Inhale to reverse. Exhale, side angle. Inhale, back up, warrior two. Exhale, hands come down, frame out that front foot. So we have two ways out of this. If you want to go through your flow with your plank and chaturanga, you'll step it back to plank. If you just want to hang out in forward fold, you'll step your left foot forward. So again, we could step it forward, take a fold, or step both feet back and flow. We're flowing. Find your chaturanga. Inhale to up dog. Exhale to down dog. If we're on our fold, hang out there. We'll catch up. Next inhale, walk those feet forward if you're in down dog and meet up with the folds. We'll all take a halfway lift and again, fold nice and gentle. Next inhale, slowly rise up, arms up overhead. Exhale, hands to heart center. Press heavy into that left foot. This time, right foot steps back. Find our crescent lunge. Front knee over the ankle, up on the ball of the back foot. We got arms up overhead. And take it to our twist. Right arm in front, left arm back behind. Two, one, our fun transition here. Arms come back up overhead as we open up to warrior two. Right foot spins towards the long end of the mat. Arms come out to a T. Stay as you are. I'm just flipping on my mat to see you. Still in our warrior two. Left knee over the left ankle. Back toes face the long end of the mat. Take our reverse warrior, flip that front palm, sweep it up overhead, right arm down the right leg. And exhale, left forearm, left thigh, right arm over right ear. Keep that bend in the left knee, that front knee. Inhale, back up, reverse warrior. You're back with the left leg to the front of the mat. Exhale, forearm to thigh. Yes, child's pose are always an option. Inhale, back up, warrior two. And let's all make our way to either a forward fold or a child's pose. Hands come down to frame out that front foot. If we're taking the forward fold, right foot comes to meet the left. If we're taking a child's pose, we'll drop the right knee, step the left back, knees come wide, toes together, child's pose. No matter which expression we're in, whether it be child's pose or forward fold, we've got 8 breaths here. If we're in child's pose, stay where you are. If you're in the forward fold, bend your knees enough to plant your hands or fingertips down, and then just keep bending. You can plant your butt down, send the legs out long. If we are in our child's pose, you'll slowly rise up to your tabletop. Drop your hips off to one side and swing those legs around. Take a few folds from here. We'll inhale, sweep those arms up overhead, gaze up. Exhale, fold to the toes. Doesn't matter if we reach those toes, even if we're just at the knees. As long as we feel a stretch through the hamstring, we're doing it right. 3, 2, 1. Nice. Come back up, nice and straight spine. Let's start working into those hips. Draw the soles of the feet in together, knees out to the side. Inhale, lift the chest, hands come to either the feet or ankles, and exhale, fold. Matter if we get far in this fold or not.
You brought the bags to the high school you spied to get a raise.
Next inhale, we lift. It's our fun one here to get into our hips. We're gonna keep the right leg as it is. Left is gonna lift up. We're gonna bring that left knee, pivot the hip to our right heel. And we got a nice triangle here. Left hand either comes to the right shin or right knee. Inhale, lift the torso. Just a gentle twist here. We might end up a little bit off our mat here, but that's okay. One more inhale. And exhale, no matter where your torso is pointed, just start walking those hands out in front of you. Feel a nice stretch through that right outer hip.
Mark the time, they draw the lines around your eyelids now. And is it all still for the weekend?
Few more breaths. 3, 2, 1. Let's walk those hands back in. Nice. So keep again the right leg as it is. Left leg is going to sweep out long. We'll pull that right foot into the left inner thigh. And you may need to turn yourself to get yourself back on the mat here if you kind of got turned around a little bit. We'll sweep those arms up overhead and reach towards that left foot. Does not need to touch it by any means. All right. So we got a little bit of left and right here, which can be a little tough. So we have the left leg out long. Right hand stays wherever it reaches on the left foot, whether it's the toes or the ankle. Left arm is going to thread underneath, just like we threaded the needle in the beginning. Try to find that right knee. If we can't find the knee and we're just on the shin, that's okay. So while we're in this position, in this pose, think more about the twist. So really focus on pulling yourself with that left hand so you get a nice stretch through our low back. We spend a lot of time sitting at a desk. It's a really nice one to open up those tight areas. 3, 2, and 1. Slowly come back up, straighten out through the spine. And sometimes we want to stay in that one a little longer. All right, so we have 2 options for this next twist. We can plant that right foot down and keep it on the inside and twist to the right if we want it a little bit deeper. Right foot steps to the outside of the left leg. Either way, left arm hugs the right knee, whatever position it's in. We gaze out over that right shoulder. If we want a little bit more, elbow locks to the inside. Three, 2, 1. Exhale, release out of that twist. If we have this cross, keep the cross. If we're not in it, step that right foot over now. All we're going to do is drop this knee to the side. So we still have the cross of right ankle over that left knee. We're going to plant our hands back behind us and slowly start scooting the heel that's long, that left leg. Slowly start scooting it in. So we do this, you'll get another stretch through that right hip. Again, opening that up. And if we want to take this deeper, we just scoot the hips in closer towards the foot and walk the hands in to bring the chest closer to the shin. Few breaths to go. Three, two, one. You can inch that left foot away. We reclined onto our backs, which is totally okay. We'll come back up. Left goes long, right goes long. This time we're going to take our fold with bent knees. So let's bend those knees enough to be able to bring our chest and stomach to our thighs. If we need to bend those knees a lot, that's totally okay. Hands reach for the feet here. So we should be starting to feel a stretch through our back. If we want to inch those heels further away, you can, but keeping that bent knee position keeps it in our back. Now you may still feel it in the hamstrings here, and that's okay. 3, 2, and 1. Slowly come up. Again, we'll pull the soles of the feet in together, knees to the side. Inhale to lift. Exhale to fold.
Coming out of my cage, doing just fine. Gotta be down. Want it all. Started out with a kiss, did it in a black.
Good. Slowly rise up. And we got to take it to the other side. So now that right knee is going to pivot. We can use our hands down if we need to. Right knee to left heel. Right hand either comes to the shin or the knee of the left leg. Come to our twist.
Calling a cab while he's having a smoke. She's taking a drag and they're going to bed. My stomach is sick. It's all in my head. She's touching his chest now. He takes
Wherever our torso is pointed, we'll walk those hands out, find our fold into that left hip.
I just can't look, it's killing me, and it's taking control. Jealousy turning saints into the sea, swimming through sick lullabies, choking on your alibis. But it's just the price I pay. Destiny.
Next, inhale, walk those hands in, slowly rise up. Now swing that right leg around, this time send it out long. So we pull the left sole of the foot to the right inner thigh. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, fold towards that right foot. All right, we got our twists here. So this time, left hand stays to the right, right arm threads to the left knee. Remember, every side's different. One side might be a little tighter than the other. Three, two, one. Rise up out of that. Heading into our twist. They're pointing that left knee up, keeping it on the inside, or we step it to the outside. Either way, right arm wraps around, gives it a little hug. Three, two, one. Slowly release. We'll push that left knee to the side. Keep the cross of left ankle over right knee. And slowly scoot in that right heel. Walk those hands in if it feels good. Left side is generally tighter than the right, unless you're a lefty. So it may feel a little bit tighter on this side. You need a few more breaths to kind of loosen it up. Few breaths to go here. Another 3, 2, 1. We're gonna come out a little differently this time. So send that right leg far enough away that we can just unhook the knee with those, or ankle, sorry, with those knees bent. We're just gonna slowly lower down onto the mat. And take a bridge pose here to wash off any work in our hip flexors. Pressing into the heels and into the shoulders. Squeeze the glutes, lift the hips up. We're just holding here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Slowly lower it down. We'll pull those knees into our chest. Give this a gentle little squeeze, maybe a rock side to side. Arms come out to a T. We'll drop the knees off to the right, gaze to the left. Next inhale, using your core, pull those knees in. Drop them off to the opposite side. Gaze falls opposite to the knees. Next inhale, we'll all pull those knees back up into our chest, giving them a squeeze, maybe a rock side to side. Next inhale, we'll pull those knees in nice and tight. Pull the nose up to knees. Make one tight little ball. Inhale. Exhale, send it out long. Feet come wide on the mat. Palms facing up. As you exhale, start to release into the mat. Let the eyes roll back into the head. Tongue fall away from the roof of the mouth. And just be here. Breathe here. Got a few moments in this Shavasana. It's the most important part of our practice. Really try to soak it in.
Torn down, full of aching. Somehow, our youth would take the blame. Worn out, the way we let it stay. Taught how to celebrate it all out. I'd replicate your pain, climb down, if only for a taste.
For those of us still reclined in our Shavasana, if you're ready to come out, you can slowly start wiggling fingers and toes. Maybe turning the head side to side. If you're ready, pulling one knee into your chest, then the other. Slowly pushing yourself up to a comfortable seat. Take your time, we'll all meet here in this nice comfortable seat, just as we started. Shoulders stacking over the hips, eyes closed. Noticing if you feel any different than when we started our practice about an hour ago. Begin to flutter your eyes open here. We'll take one last fold with our hands in our chest together. Inhale and exhale. So thank you for sharing your practice with me today. Namaste.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, of course. Let me turn
Have
this.
a very happy new year.
You too.